First of all, good evening. I hope you are doing as well as you can. I'm doing okay. I'm actually coping. And before I actually start playing today I wanted to talk about a few things. A few things that are, I think, of extreme importance right now. And I actually just kind of wanted to bring them up, even though this is a Final Fantasy stream, and in the past few weeks I've been committing to Final Fantasy streams to bring. And I'm very happy about that. Actually, I am very excited to be streaming FF, and there are some things that I would like to bring up regarding the recent events over at World of Warcraft. Which, for those of you who are new to my channel, is something that I used to stream and play exclusively before. Like, never ever have I thought that I would one day just be at the point where I'm both playing and streaming another game and being happy in that game and having another community and another MMO. Like, those things for me were unheard of, pretty much. And this actually at first came out as a big shock for me, that I'm actually this happy. Like, I remember this kind of, happiness way back when I started WoW. But I also think it was a big honeymoon thing, because WoW was my first MMO and everything seemed perfect. And now when I look back at it and I know a lot more about MMOs, I know that there were some burning issues that I didn't notice back then. And I'd say that I'm not a super experienced MMO players in such a way that I played like a bunch of MMOs in my life. But at least now when I start a new MMO, I can tell like which things are okay and which things are not okay in a game, and especially in a community. I've been a part of Blizzard and World of Warcraft community for about 6 years now. I used to stream Hearthstone and play Hearthstone both competitively and, as just, a streamer with fun decks and whatnot. And Hearthstone was my first big WoW breakup. Do you say breakup? Like, I love that game. I loved it to death. But then things started happening both inside of the community and when it comes to like the game's changes. Like, the game just stopped being what it used to be when they introduced like 4 expansions a year and all these like collection items and collection packs, where if you buy like a pack of, just like a big lump of cards for like $50 or $80 or whatever, you get like a special kind of frame and a card back and whatnot. And as greetings, welcome. And as a collectionaire, I found that very troubling, because my husband and I both used to play Hearthstone, and we were like bordering with being obsessed about the game. Like, the game was our life. We even went on a honeymoon in Amsterdam back in 2000, what was that, 2018 or something, on like when there was the Hearthstone World Championship in Amsterdam. And I think that was the last actual World Championship. Later on it was only like a BlizzCon event, and we never went to BlizzCon. And we met Ben Brode and all of our, heroes and players that we used to look up to, and that was just such an incredible experience for us. It was a dream come true to be in this area, just filled with enthusiasm, with people who came over there to see the players who they would normally watch like at home from their beds or chairs or whatever, watch them stream, watch them talk about the game and stuff. It was such an exciting time for me, and I will always remember my time like as a Blizzard player, not just as a WoW player, because Hearthstone was a big part of my life as well. Like, I will always remember it fondly up until some point of, you know, both my Hearthstone journey and WoW journey. Like when I felt like I can't keep up with the game anymore as a competitive player, when I was unable to establish a collection as a standard player, where I didn't have to disenchant a bunch of cards to be able to craft a card that I need for tomorrow's tournament. Like if I was able to do that, if I had enough money, first of all, to play the game that I loved, I would have done it. But if I still loved the game, I would have done it. The point was that I felt like the money that both my husband and I were investing into Hearthstone at some point just became a little bit too much. Like it was, I don't know, every 4 months there would be a new expansion, and we'd save up a ton of gold to buy cards for the new expansion, but also we would spend like 80 euros per person, so it was like 160 euros or dollars or whatever per person per expansion. And you can do the math and see how much that actually is on a yearly level. And that's not a big amount of money, probably, for some of you who are watching this, you know, video or live stream or whatever, because like, I don't know, $500 or $600 or whatever, like that's not a big deal in, I don't know, in America. And I can say that because I lived in the States, so I kind of know how much like $500 or whatever is worth. But in Serbia, where we're from and where we currently are, $500 or 500 euro or whatever, that's around an above average Serbian monthly salary. It's a bunch of money. So that meant that like when our child was born, we were still playing Hearthstone, but we soon realized that basically we would just be renouncing one salary per year so we can play Hearthstone. And if you have a kid, you know that you can't really do that. So we were like, okay, you know, let's find a free alternative. And our free alternative for a while was Dota Underlords, and it was okay. But like I soon realized that like I have no love for these kinds of systems anymore. And that's when I decided to retreat for a while and just rethink my decisions. And I really missed WoW. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go play WoW, and I'm going to start streaming WoW again, and I'm going to start making content. And I was very happy to be making content, and I was so excited when Shadowlands came around, because, yeah, it's like, this is kind of like a similar joke that like my chat and I had. Like it was like either like buying diapers this month or playing Hearthstone or whatever. Like it became that expensive and we just couldn't justify it to ourselves anymore. But in the long run we realized that we were happier without Hearthstone. So yeah, Shadowlands came around and I started my YouTube channel. I remember having around 70 subscribers in, I don't know when that was. That was like October or whatever. Like I streamed a little bit of Dota Underlords. I played a little bit of it. I didn't do any guides or anything like that. I tried some version of like weekly overview of like the patches and stuff. That didn't work out. But like when Shadowlands came around, my channel exploded. Like my channel just went up in the air. I've really put a lot of time and a lot of effort into educating myself on how to provide good, valuable content to people, how to give it my best, how to serve as a content creator and not be a star. And that's what I've been doing. And I've been focusing, like throughout my WoW journey, I've been focusing on just creating stuff for, you know, for beginners, for returning players, for busy people who don't have a lot of time on their hands. And that worked out. That really did work out. Shadowlands got me partnered on YouTube and I've undergone a tremendous amount of success. Like, I mean, I'm sitting at like, I don't know, 3.4k subs or something like that. In someone's eyes it may not seem like a lot, but I started from 0 a year ago, and for me that's a lot. It's a lot of success considering that I didn't bring any of my, like almost any of my previous like audiences, like Hearthstone audience, Dota Underlords audience, whatever, except for some dear friends who actually stuck around and stayed within the community and continued to just follow my journey. And I appreciate those people so much because they were so supportive over the years, and it's just amazing and beautiful to have them in the community, and thank you so much for that if you're here, if you're listening. But yeah, Shadowlands came around, and see, this is the thing. Like, I want to start talking a little bit about the events that have happened in the past 2 days, and I can't help but feel, first of all, this overwhelming guilt. Like, it's not that I'm guilty of like not knowing things that I wasn't even supposed to know. Like, I am a content creator, but I'm in no way like connected or affiliated with anyone who has undergone the stuff inside of Blizzard Activision, call it whatever you may. I don't know anyone. And I was in the dark. I got my channel partnered on the back of Shadowlands, exclusively in the dark of what was going on in the community. And now that I look back on the events that have been happening throughout those 2 years, maybe we had some feelings about like why Shadowlands content was delayed, why there was nothing going on and stuff, and I can only imagine like what those people who were affected by all these things were feeling, what they were going through. And I even I read like in the lawsuit. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about the lawsuit, the Blizzard California lawsuit about harassment at work and whatnot. You can look it up yourselves if you haven't been introduced to it yet. But I think there's very few people in like the Blizzard and WoW community right now who don't know what I'm talking about. But if you don't, that's pretty much what it is, and you can search more info on it. But I read that, like, allegedly, most of the work that they were doing, like the game devs and whatnot that they were doing, that women who have undergone these horrendous, disgusting things, that they were the ones who were pulling off, like, most of the work, most of the hours and everything. And I, like, first of all, hi Angry Cupcake, welcome. First of all, that makes me feel like a big pile of shit that I shouldn't be feeling this about my content. But I feel so clueless. I feel so clueless, and I have felt like right now I feel so clueless about that time that I felt like I had success with my channel, that I was doing good, that WoW at the beginning of Shadowlands was doing good. Like, all of this stuff, or most of this stuff, or some of this stuff even, like, that was done off the back of those people who struggled and who were going through things that I don't even want to think about right now because it sickens me. And I don't want to be that kind of content creator. And that is one of the, not the main reason, but one of the reasons why I am retreating myself immediately from any future content creation for World of Warcraft and for Blizzard, apart from the content that I already promised to my community, to my WoW community, that I would deliver. And those are the 2 or 3 remaining raid guides that are queued that I'm going to release in the next few days. I never ever want to feel like my work was done and successful. We have an expression in my language for this, and I don't know how to say it in English, so I don't like sound different than what I'd like to sound. But basically, someone suffered so I could have content. Someone has undergone a ton of shit so I could have some YouTube content, so I could get myself partnered on YouTube, so I could feed my family off of that content. And I don't want to be the content creator who's going to continue feeding her family and just like in any way being associated with that knowingly, like knowing that someone on the other side, let's say that the content that I'm currently going over was done like a year ago or something. Like when I think back at like what was going on a year ago, maybe, I don't know, maybe someone was going through a really hard time and really trying hard to make that work, even though they were feeling really bad. You know, they were undergoing some horrible things, and yet they had to pull off some work so they could prove to themselves and their bosses that they're worthy of their salary, that they're worthy of their promotion that they never end up getting, that they are equal. And I'm not I'm not some sort of feminist. I don't go around and claim women's rights all the time. I'm all for, you know, equal rights and equal everything, and I don't ask for more. As a female, I don't ask for more. I don't ask for special treatment or anything like that. If I can, I'll always do more work than what people expect me to do. I really will. Like, I will never expect a man to carry the heavy stuff that I'm carrying, or to do something that I can't do. Like, at most, I would expect someone to help me, I don't know, reach something because I'm tiny. Like, that's about it. Like, I don't expect special treatment, and I don't think any gender or a mixture of genders, if you will, or whatever, is supposed to have special treatment. We should all have equal treatment. And that's why these events just anger me to no end, because why can't everyone just have that bare minimum, you know? Like, nobody here is expecting to be treated like a king or a queen or whatever because of their, you know, gender, or because of something that they think they're entitled to. Let's just all treat other people like human beings. Like, that's the bare minimum. Just treat everyone with respect. Just don't be an asshole. That's the point of it. Don't go around harassing people and just like doing all these horrible things just because someone is not someone is not able to defend themselves properly. Like, here's the thing. I try to think about these situations in a way that, what if there was a guy, I'm not going to name any names or anything like that. What if there was a guy who gets, you know, drunk at work and who crawls into someone's cubicle and like grabs their ass? What if he grabs a guy's ass and like that other guy maybe isn't gay or whatever? Maybe the first one isn't. Maybe they're both not or whatever. Like, that's an immediate cause for a fight in most cases. In most cases, those two guys are going to fight each other, and that's going to be a big conflict. Like, what gives you the fucking right to go and touch any being, anyone who you may think they deserve that, or that they're somehow unworthy of being treated better just because they may not be able to stand up and look you in the eyes, like, at your height, and maybe just hit you till you, can't get off the floor. Like, that's the thing. Like, those things would happen if it was, like, the other way around. It's a double standard. It's a complete double standard that disgusts me. And I actually, like, this is, I'm just gonna go back to the game just a little bit, and I'm gonna point towards my glamour. Actually, this was the glamour that I chose, not on accident, but it was festive because it's gold saucer and everything. And even though I never dress like this in public, I actually purposefully decided to have, like, a game capture on here and talk about it a little bit and just, show you that whatever a girl is wearing, however she looks, she's not inviting other people's hands onto her body or whatever. If she's not inviting, she's not inviting. Clothes don't speak. Some people think clothes speak, and the people are worthy of being treated the way they dress. But like, if you're respectful of the dress code in your company, if you're just dressed decently for work as you should be, regardless of how big your boobs are or how big your ass is or if you're fat or skinny or tall or short or whatever, none of your attributes should contribute towards you being touched in any way. Nothing on your body or on your clothes is any sort of reason for anyone, just because they may like it, that's not the reason for them to think that they have the right to do anything to you, to touch you, to make comments about you. They don't even have to touch you. It's just not of their damn business to have anything to do with who you are and what you do and what you wear. It's disgusting. It's gross. It's just, I cannot stand behind that behavior, and I will not. Like, God help me if I can do anything to just get this off of my chest, to just get this toxicity out of my community, to do anything to try to be on the good side of this. Like, this is just my opinion. I'm not gonna bully anyone for their decisions, but I will not give any more money to that company. The company that doesn't invest that money into their employees being treated like human beings, I am not gonna put that on my soul. That is never, ever going to happen. And I'm aware that I'm aware that bad things happen everywhere. And that's a fact. Like, someone may say, like, yeah, maybe these things happen. Like, okay, these things happen in Ubi. They happen in Riot. Maybe they happen in Square. Who knows? Like, I'm not either, like, judging or getting in any of that thing. I know that bad things happen in the world. That's why I choose to stay inside most of the time, because I can't stomach a lot of things. But here's the deal. Like, there's a big difference between you knowing about it and not knowing about it. Like, it's about a human soul. Like, my soul. Like, I don't know what other souls in the world have for their standards, and I'm not getting into that. But my soul is not okay with continuing to contribute towards something that may serve as a way to continue with that behavior. And some people may say, but yeah, like, if you don't pay your subscription, if you discontinue buying the game or whatever, these people might get fired, like these women, and they're gonna be like in a lot worse position because now they're just extras. They're not needed anymore because the company is cutting back on budget or something. Like, I think I'd be doing them a fucking favor, to be honest. And all of us would be. If that's the consequence of us stopping to play the game and not paying any more for it, that is doing them a favor in the long run, because they would be better off anywhere else. Even if they had to return to their, maybe their home countries or whatever, if they moved to the place where they worked and got harassed or whatever, in the long run, that's helping them, that's saving them. And I'm not using the word save lightly, but in the light of the events where one person lost her life to this, to the fact, like, I don't know who it is. I don't know any details about the story. I don't know any more than you know. But would it save that person if she got fired because the company couldn't, like, support her workplace anymore and had to cut back and she ended up working somewhere else? Would that save her? I don't know. Maybe. You know, maybe. I don't have these infos and I can't say anything useful about it, but there's always that maybe. And I'm gonna hold on to that maybe. I'm not gonna I don't know, this is just very hard for me because it is a company that I think I had the most patience for out of all my friends and everyone, like, around me that I know. None of my friends almost are playing the game anymore, either WoW or Hearthstone. Some still do, but a lot of them don't. And they all quit at some point because they didn't want to play anymore. They were not as emotional about Blizzard, about their games as I did. Not just because I'm a content creator, but because I was a huge fan. Like, Jesus, I mean, my husband and I, we went on a honeymoon to freaking Amsterdam for Hearthstone World Championship. Like, who goes to that kind of honeymoon if they don't want to be there? Like, we wanted to be there, and like, I'm not getting the Hearthstone team into any of this stuff. I don't want to. I don't think it's okay because they allegedly don't have these, you know, problems and whatnot, but problems are everywhere, and I'm just going to choose to not talk about, like, specific game teams or whatever in this particular instance. There's another thing. See, I when I started this channel, I wanted to be myself, and I still want to be myself. And I can't pretend, and I won't pretend that I'm some, I don't know, 14, not 14, but like 17, 18-year-old girl who is, like, I don't know, studying, living her life freely, you know, just, like, enjoying, having fun and whatnot. Like, I'm not a party girl, not anymore. Like, for a while I had my moments, and that's long gone. And that's not the kind of audience I probably appealed to. I chose to be open with who I am and to create the content that would appeal to people who are either busy or like me in a way that they have commitments, they have families, they have other stuff to do that doesn't allow them to just sit and micromanage their MMOs all day long. I'll never be able to do that, not anymore, not ever again, because I have a family, and family is a big thing for me. See, I have a son, and he's 2, and here's the thing about that. One day he's gonna know about this, and it's going to be very hard to, you know, like, I would never hide things from him, and there's internet, so you can't hide anything today. But my son having 2 parents who are gamers, like, he's gonna probably hear it from us at some point, like, what happened to one of the greatest game companies that's ever been around that we were involved with. And I cannot bring myself to imagine the future in which I'm telling my son this story about how the team of World of Warcraft or someone on the team were accused of sexual harassment, of mistreating women, of discrimination, and I can't see myself logging into World of Warcraft on that day, on that, like, in that month, in that year of me telling that story, like, not ever from this moment on, because it's about the example that you're setting for your kids, for people around you. Like, I will never purposefully, intentionally give my son a reason to think that he can be that kind of man in this world and get away with it any way, I am not going to act like a person who is able to forgive something like that to anyone. Because what am I giving to him as an example? Like, what kind of example am I setting if I'm continuing to pay for the services to people who have acted that way? That's just not the example that I'm setting. And I can't justify that. I can't justify it to myself. I can't justify it to anyone around me. And I can't justify it to him. And there's another thing that I don't even want to get into because I've already talked about this a whole lot. I'm not even heartbroken at this point that I say like, oh my god, I love WoW so much and I can't believe this has happened and I'm just so sad and whatnot. Like, I haven't truly loved WoW for quite a bit of time now. I did love it at the beginning of Shadowlands, like we all did for the first, 2 weeks or so. We were all really happy to be playing that game because it seemed like an awesome game, and no one could have predicted that it's going to just feel so draining to go through, all these same world quests and the same dungeons and same everything for months and months and months. And yes, those months have killed my love for WoW, but I was ready to commit to it and to push through it a while longer because of the community. Because I have something, and I had something of value to offer to my WoW community. I am very good at what I do. I have set a goal for myself, like back before all of this had happened, before I even started committing to WoW in a serious way. I wanted to fill this hole of missing content in World of Warcraft. See, you, like on YouTube and in the guides and blog posts or whatever, you have these basic guides that teach you how to turn in your world quest, how to move, how to keybind your characters, how to start a quest, how to find a portal to someplace and whatnot. And then you have Icy Veins and Wowhead and whatnot, where you have the sim comparisons of your trinkets, your min-maxing, your, everything that someone who's just starting the game but has a little bit of brains, can move around without looking for a guide, and can figure out how to turn in a quest or whatever, even though it's their first MMO. They don't have content. They don't know how to enter a raid, like an LFR raid, for the first time. They don't know how to spin their rotation, because when they read a guide on Wowhead, there's 50 pages of spells and abilities and everything that they have nothing, they have no idea what these things are. And they get discouraged from playing a class or playing a spec or whatever. And I still am very good at what I did that I will no longer do for the time being, and that time being is probably going to be a lot longer than, that I can imagine now, because I don't see how anything is going to change instantly. But I was good at that, and I provided my community with a resource pool of guides that don't waste their time. If I'm against anything as a content creator, I'm against wasting people's time. And I'm rambling right now. I've been rambling for 35 minutes of rambles. And yes, it's the most time I will ever feel like I'm wasting for someone, because I don't usually do this. I don't make you sit and watch one screen or one picture of a game or whatever it is, so I can get my point out there. But this is that one time that I will, and I won't feel guilty about it. Not too guilty, even though I do hate wasting people's time. But anyway, my guys don't waste people's time, and that's their essence. That's what they're for. I don't pay attention to whether my videos are 8 minutes long or not. And I don't know if you knew about this, but if your videos are 8 minutes or longer on YouTube as a partner, you have the ability and the privilege of putting an ad break into your video. I have never gotten myself to the point where I would make my video purposefully go over 8 minutes so I could put an ad in there. It's such a minuscule amount of money that you get from that one ad, and you can make a shitty guide with like the information that you can put in like a minute and a half with less editing, less time, less everything. Like you will spend less time, and people who watch that guide will spend less time, and they'll be grateful. Like, I got from 0 to 3.5k subs in less than a year because I wasted none of people's time. And WoW has wasted mine. WoW has wasted a lot of my time not playing. Like, every time I played because I wanted to. I'm the kind of person who doesn't deal well with like internal struggles. Like, I never sat there and played WoW when I didn't want to play it. I always wanted to play it, but it wasted my time thinking that things will go better and more people will play it. Like, I'm a very patient person, and I can handle a lot. And I knew that things in the game weren't perfect, and I often got called out in my comments, in my chat and whatnot, about not addressing some issues, about writing how to farm anima guides, or how to farm grateful offerings, or how to farm pet charms guides. I only did it so those people who do that could waste less of their time. And I never actually farmed out my pet charms or my anima or anything or whatever, but I knew how to do it. And I know that a lot of people wasted less time because of me, and my job was done well, but that's it. And I'm ready to take those skills and go into another game, regardless of the fact that this may be like 8-year-old content or whatever. I know there are resources out there that waste people's time, and I will feel completely fine with making a guide that supposedly everyone is like, with the knowledge that everyone has. If for some new person that guide will waste 3 minutes less of their life rather than like a guide that like is 3 minutes longer or whatever, but has the same info, just because it goes over those 8 minutes that will allow them to put an ad and ad revenue. That's my value as a content creator, and that's what I will always bring to the table, regardless of whether it's old content or new. And I'm telling you all this so that you know that this is not some sort of goodbye. I am continuing, and obviously not going anywhere. I am loving Final Fantasy, and I'm hoping I'm not gonna get heartbroken like this, because I'm putting a lot of, like, I'm doing something I'm not supposed to be doing. I'm putting a lot of personal faith in those developers, in the community, in the whole thing, that I won't be heartbroken, because this has broken my heart. And I'm just hoping that it won't happen again with Final Fantasy. It looks like it won't. If it looked like it might, I would probably never even get myself involved into it. But I'm ready for a new start in a way, but I'm also ready to take my skills and what I offered to WoW community to now offer to Final Fantasy community, and some of that Final Fantasy community may be parts of WoW community as well. Like previous WoW community, the so-called refugees and whatnot. Like, I will continue to provide that kind of content. It won't be the same content, it will not be WoW content anymore, but it will be the same kind of no bullshit, wasting your time content with information you don't know, you won't need, just so I could have a longer video. I don't do that. And that's it. That's pretty much all I have to say about that. I I have no words to express my feelings about all these events that haven't been said around the WoW, the Blizzard, the whatever MMO community out there. It's a disgrace. It's a massive, massive disgrace. It's not a disgrace that they got caught. It's a disgrace that it happened, and it should be a big ass warning to all of them out there, to all the sleazy, disgusting predators out there, that they will get caught. And man, if you're out there, like, if you're a predator and if you're listening to this, like, you better start feeling sorry now and stopping whatever the hell it is you're doing right now. Not so you don't get caught, but because it's wrong. It's disgusting. It ruins people's lives. It ends people's lives. And you don't know. Like, you don't know, and you can't know, like, the emotional composition of someone who you're targeting, of someone who you're abusing. You don't know if they're gonna go home that night and decide to end their life because of you. You can't know that. You may think you're doing that to the strongest person in the world, or you might not give a shit. But to someone on a very bad day or a very bad month or a year, that could be the last fucking thing they think about in their life. And whoever you are, however you think you treat people, no matter what you do, you always have that responsibility of not harming others and not getting them to any point of discomfort, let alone getting them to end their life because of you. I don't know what to say. Like, is it possible that as a human race and as people that we've gotten to the point of not even thinking about that, not even considering that someone may be more on the gentler side, that someone can't take your bullshit and wake up tomorrow and feel okay? Is that where we're at as a race? Is that something people are actively okay with? To just spread that disease of that malice, like, onto everyone around them, and to not even consider that someone's having a really hard time, that someone just can't tolerate bullshit actions anymore. I'm lost for words, and I can't even log myself into World of Warcraft. Not that I want to, but I can't, because every single asset around me, every spell I look at, every bullshit system in Shadowlands, everything I see around me, I can't help but thinking about every one of those things and think, what if that horrible person who has at some point of their life led to destroying somebody else's life, what if they made that mount that I'm writing? What if I'm promoting their artwork that is a shitty artwork, by the way, because the mounts aren't even that pretty or special in Shadowlands. They all look the fucking same. What if I'm endorsing them? Like, I cannot endorse any of them. I don't know who they are. I don't know if they design mounts or spells or raids or battlegrounds. I don't know. I don't give a shit. I don't want to be a part of anything. Knowing what I know now, and knowing that I am actively endorsing any part of that person's work, no matter how great it is. And not a lot of it is great. Let's face that. I can't. I can't, and I won't. And that's it. Like, that's all I'm thinking about. If I was to log in, if I was to, you know, do anything like that, if I'm out in the open world and someone sees me on a mount, like, has someone that vile made that mount? I don't know, but I don't want to be guessing. Like, that's not why I play an MMO. Like, sorry for 45 minutes of this, but that's how I feel about it. And that's why I can't bring myself to participating in that any longer, because it's disgusting, and it's not something I want in my house, in my family. I will not endorse anything I wouldn't feel okay with in my own home. I'm not gonna teach my child these principles. I'm not gonna have him think that it's okay in any way to act like that in the world, and have anyone else support him for that. And that's it. That's it. I just want to say one last thing that may sound like it's contradicting everything I said before, but if, like, whoever you are, just refrain from violence in any way. Don't go after people who play the games. I feel the way I feel, and I can't be nothing but honest about that. But don't go after them. Someone like WoW. WoW may be the one thing in their life that's holding it together. Regardless of what's happening in WoW, for someone, that might be their lifeline. And it's not up to us to take anything away from them. At all. At all. It's nobody's business. And it's everyone's unique, personal decision, what they're gonna do, what they're gonna not do. Just, you know, just don't go bully anyone. Or the devs or whoever. Like, we don't know whose fault it is. We can't pinpoint fingers. Nobody can. And we can sit and wait. And even when we know, like, we're not the judge, the jury, and the executioner. We're the community. And it's not up to us to point fingers and be toxic about things. It's up to us to feel and to judge and to act individually based on that. And if enough people act individually in a similar fashion, then that means they agree it's wrong or it's right or whatever. But be that kind of voice. Don't think you're special because you're gonna be this unique voice of toxicity and violence that has the right to retaliate. We don't get to retaliate because that's an eye for an eye system that only brings to more things like this. And yeah, that's it. Sorry if I went all depressing on you, but that's just how I feel.